Hi there, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, amazing one joining me from across the globe. And I wish you a wonderful and happy International Women's Day 2021. I am doing this broadcast on behalf of my organization, Voice of Nations, a leading empowerment and transformation women's organization in Liverpool with an international outreach. Thank you for joining us. We had a few technical issues, but at least I'm happy everything is fine now. And you are welcome on board Voice of Nations with the founder and CEO, Dr. Sylvia Forchap-Likambi, a leading empowerment and transformation authority. Welcome. I'll get others to join us, and then we will start straight away with our International Women's Day 2021 theme, Challenge Aid. I want to speak especially, specifically to us women. It must start with us if we have to challenge what is going on out there, the status quo. We must start by challenging the attitudes, the negative, unacceptable attitudes that we as women actually manifest or every single day in our life, in our workplaces, in our homes. We must challenge these attitudes. It starts with us. We should be the change we want to see in the world. Enough of the blame game, and let's take our responsibility and start challenging all of those attributes, qualities, characteristics that are unacceptable. Thank you. I'll get this out there. That's with us. We should be the change. Thank you for joining. I'll give some time for others to join. Thank you all. Thank you all for joining. You're welcome on board. Please share, and let's get other women or also men, children to join us and be inspired by this message. Okay, I'm going to try and get it on my page. Thank you all for joining. I can see you here on my iPad. I'll just wait for a few more other people to join, and then we can start. I'm not sure why I can't get it on my page. Thank you. Unfortunately, I cannot seem to get it on my page. Okay, I'm gonna just leave it. That's perfectly fine. That's perfectly fine. I can't seem to get it on my page, so I'll go on anyway, and you can watch this message later on. You can share later on to inspire and challenge a woman out there. And before I start, I would like to take some time and introduce myself and Voice of Nations. I often do talks on my page, my personal page, and today I've decided to do this message on Voice of Nations page because I am the founder and CEO of Voice of Nations. It's a leading empowerment and transformational organization for women, based in Liverpool, like I said before, with an international outreach. Voice of Nations has a vision to transform the life and status of young girls, women, and their families, so they can become aware of their rights and full potential and excel into positions of leadership and financial independence, living a life of purpose and fulfillment. And how do we do this? We do this by actually delivering a series of one-to-one mentoring coaching sessions, workshops, seminars, conferences, all strategically designed and, deliver to empower, educate, inspire, motivate, and transform the life and status of young girls and women, starting by transforming their mindset so they don't conform to societal norms and limitations, but they are transformed through the renewal of their mind. And I am the founder and CEO of Voice of Nations. It's an award-winning behavior change organization based in Liverpool with an international outreach. Like I said again, we transform behaviors. We transform those limiting behaviors that make a lot of us to settle for mediocrity or the norm. And I am also a leading empowerment and transformation authority, transformational coach, inspirational and transformational speaker, best-selling author, I think 4 or 5 times best-selling author. Some of my books actually are out there with a whole series of programs delivered actually to empower you so you can transform your life and fulfill your maximum potential. I am also the founder and CEO of Dr. Sylvia Likambi International Health and Wellbeing Clinic, which is set up to enable you to thrive in optimal mental, emotional, physical, and spiritual health and well-being, and Dr. Sylvia Likambi International, where we unveil purpose and your unique identity. And also we have a publishing company where we actually simplify your experience, when it comes to writing a book and also publishing a book. And that's Likambi Global Publishing. If you need any support, get in touch with us. We are here to support you. And Voice of Nations is a community interest company. We do a lot of workshops, sessions. Some are fully funded, so members access it for free or women access it for free. And for some courses and programs, you will need to pay a small charge to actually access those programs and courses. And today is International Women's Day. We're going to do an event on the 27th of March 2021, but I felt like as a women's organization, we cannot let Women's Day, International Women's Day 2021 go by without me giving a message, to all the inspiring, incredible women out there. And the theme for this year, is Challenge It. I love that. International Women's Day 2021, Challenge It. I've seen a lot of messages. It's so easy to start pointing the finger. Let's challenge the men. Let's challenge our spouses. Let's challenge the society. Let's challenge, those in our workplaces. I am a strong believer of the fact that change starts from within me. And if I truly want to be a change in the world, I need to transform my own life first so I can lead by example, so I can be that light of hope, that ray of hope or ray of light to the world. And not necessarily changing others. It starts from us as women. So my message will be actually targeting or directed specifically to women. Of course, men might learn as well. Every knowledge is valuable and useful. But I want to talk to you women specifically as a woman to woman. We know very well that too often we are our own problems. They are not the men. Let's stop that our mindset in the past where we say the men are oppressing us, society is oppressing us. Please, let's be honest. Let's be candid. Look around you. How many women you know, maybe at top level positions, who also want you to be at top level positions? How many women you know around you who maybe are at the bottom and you are thriving, you are doing exceedingly well, and they want to uplift you, they want to see you shine? Let's look around us. Let's have this honest conversation. How many women we know that are so abusive, that are all, gossips, that are, envious of one another, that oppress one another, they don't want to see their friends, their sisters thrive? How many of them we know? How many of them we see abusing one another all over the place? How many women do we see? And yet it's too quick, to say men, create abuse in relationships. The system and the laws have been made in such a way that immediately there's a problem at the home, the man is to blame, especially in the Western world, or the man is to be taken away, when some of those women are the abusive ones. You know what? I'm not here to blame anybody. I never blame. I take responsibility, because the truth is when we blame people, we lose over our power to transform our life and the circumstances surrounding us. So I'm not blaming anyone, and I'm calling you out as well, my fellow women, to take responsibility, to be accountable for your actions, to be responsible for your actions, and truly look upon your life, look into your life, reflect. How are you living your life? How are you living your life? Are you a role model, a positive role model to so many other young women out there? Are you teaching them the right thing? Are you teaching them to challenge, gossip, to challenge envy, to challenge jealousy, which is similar or the same thing, to challenge that spirit of oppression, wanting to put the others down so you feel the only one who is up? Are you really challenging that by being the example and living your life in such a way that they see you as mom, as big sister, as leader, as an employer, as a boss, that you are challenging? You do not tolerate or accommodate gossip. You do not tolerate or accommodate envy, jealousy, oppression, abuse, and mediocrity. So we're going to look at these 5 areas. You've got to challenge gossip in your life, in your family, around you, in your inner circle, and wherever you step out into, You've got to challenge envy. It's a terrible spirit that is keeping us back. A lot of women holding us from prospering and progressing. We've got to challenge envy. First, in our lives, in our homes, in our families, in our society, women, we've got to challenge envy. Every form of envy, starting from us. We've got to challenge that spirit of oppression. Look within you. Who are you oppressing? Are you oppressing someone? Are you oppressing someone in your household, out of your household? And all of that. We need to look at this. We need to challenge it. We need to challenge abuse. A lot of women are very abusive. Incredibly. I don't even want to use incredibly. I'm so positive that I use things like incredibly. It's sad. In a very nasty form. Very abusive. Are you willing to challenge abuse? There is no excuse. Remember again, we must be accountable. If we really want to challenge the way things are happening out there, we must start from within us. The society, the nation is built by individuals, and women are the pillars of every nation. Women are the pillars of every home, family. Families are the building blocks of our communities and nations. If we challenge these things as women, we will challenge it within our family, within our children, and we'll create a generation that says no to things like this. And our world can become a better place. Are you ready to challenge oppression and the spirit of mediocrity? How many of us are so mediocre? How many of us live an average life? below our potential, and yet blame the glass ceiling. I always say, thank God it's even glass. We can crush it and break it down. When too often a problem is that sticky floor, that we are so stuck at the ground level. We are so stuck, in our comfort zone, that we are not willing or ready to move out to what we don't know. We are afraid of the unknown, so we are stuck there, and we blame people for putting a glass ceiling when some of us have never left the comfort of our home, the comfort of our immediate families, friends, and relationships. Let me start by gossip. How do you challenge gossip? I will tell you my own example again. I live by example, and the way I challenge it in such a way that wherever I am, gossip cannot propagate. They will have to wait until I leave before they can gossip. I don't tolerate anyone to gossip to me. You need to challenge it by challenging those who come and gossip about others to you. Do not accept that. Because the next thing is that they will be gossiping about you, and you are also part of that. You're also a gossip. If anyone will tell you something about someone, especially negative, positive gossip is not even gossip. You come and congratulate someone, share, they're amazing, they're incredible. That is great. Whatever you cannot say in front of someone, do not say it to anyone. It's a different thing if you're talking about your life. Even if I'm talking about my life, what I will tell you about my life, about my husband, about my family, I can say it even when they are there. I can say it. You must challenge gossip by not being a gossip yourself and not accommodating gossip in the name of friends, families, relationships. You must stand against it. It becomes a principle, a value, that they know that they cannot gossip around Sylvia. No one can gossip around me. I do not tolerate it. I do not tolerate it. People might say whatever they want to say. I'm sure they speak about everyone, good and bad. People speak about me, but hey, guess what? I can never hear, because no one has the audacity to come and tell me. Because if you've heard about them, heard from them talking about me in the back or behind my back, they are not comfortable or confident enough to come and talk in front of me, then you have no right or authority or power to come and speak in front of me, because I will stop you. They are cowards. If they are bold enough to come and say whatever they have to say in front of me, let them come and say it. Don't be their messenger. So you must challenge this. If you're in an area where people are gossiping, you challenge it. I'll tell you this story once. When I just founded Voice of Nations, we went somewhere for a female leadership, Black and Ethnic Minority Female Leadership Conference. It was organized by an organization in Liverpool, and we went to, I think it was Warrington. It was an amazing conference for 3 days. And we were doing some activities, work activities also. So we divided into groups. And in my group, there were a series of Black and ethnic minority women. I've never met them before. I think maybe some of them I just knew them casually in Liverpool. And we sat there, and suddenly they started talking about someone I cannot even remember. I don't know this person. But it was so ill. It was so negative. I sat there, I was feeling so uncomfortable. After a while, I had to challenge them. I'm like, hey, can we just go on with the exercise we've been given? I'm not sure why we're talking about this person, It's not important to be talking about her right here and now. If she's done anything you don't like, go meet her. And they were like, oh, we don't mean, they thought, I'm sure they didn't know who I was. They were all almost like jumping onto me, like, hey, this, that, we are not gossiping, we are not this. It's just, I'm like, just excuse me, we are here to work. You've been talking about this person for a long time now. I've waited thinking you'll be over, but you've been talking about this person. If she's really done something to hurt you, go and meet her. And you could see the expression in their faces. There were about 4 of them. And they just kept quiet. I'm like, let's move on. We are here for a purpose. We started working. I don't care what they said behind about me, but I challenged it and they stopped it there. They can go and gossip elsewhere. So you must challenge gossip. I've been in situations, I don't even want to name them, where I know people gossip. People I know. People will take me to be their friends. I know. I can feel it. I can feel the negative energy. I just smile. And you know what? I don't bother. I don't want to know about what they've said. If they're confident and courageous enough, they'll come and speak in front of me. Then I'll have the opportunity to respond to them if I think it's even valuable and worthy of my time. We must challenge gossip. Don't accept anybody to come and gossip to you, and don't be a gossip. Use your time wisely. Use your time to impact more lives. Once you start doing that way, you'll be able to challenge gossip even in your workplace. I've seen some institutions where there's a lot of gossip. All you need to do is take a look at the leader. The leader accommodates gossip. It's a culture, and culture is built from a core belief system. In my organization, everyone must be positive. We don't tolerate any gossip. We celebrate every staff, every volunteer. No one can come and talk. If there's anything an employee is doing that's not correct, a volunteer, I will meet them and talk to them. Or we can send another staff, the project coordinator, to talk to them. And if there is a need, we can hold a meeting and address it. I do not tolerate gossip. I do not tolerate an institution where you have little groups and people are talking about one another. I build, I empower, I uplift. And that's the culture everyone who works with me and for me has taken on board. As a leader, what kind of institution, what kind of culture as a woman are you cultivating? I've seen organizations where as you step in, you see little groups, they are chatting, they are gossiping, immediately you stop in, they are quiet, and you go, they start talking again. And even sometimes with the leader, with the CEOs themselves. It's a shame. We must challenge this. Envy. Envy is a terrible spirit. You're not going to get another person's life. You're never going to get another woman's life. We are all unique and here for unique purposes. I'm never going to get your life. So envy, you're just killing yourself up. You're just choking yourself with some cancerous, some cancer, which will damage you. And it becomes so toxic as it takes over your body. You cannot even fulfill your potential when you are full of envy, because it's a negative spirit that drains your energy. It's a negative force. Women, stop being envious of other women. Celebrate them. Celebrate them. What's this thing about? You can never live my life. I can never live your life. You can never be Sylvia, Dr. Sylvia for Kambi. With all due respect, never. There is one and only Dr. Sylvia for Kambi on planet Earth, and there will forever be only one. You cannot take my life by envying me. You cannot live my life by envying me. I cannot take your life by envying you. I cannot live your life by envying you. Some of you, if those who are even successful give you their lives to live, you have to actually give up. Because it's challenging. It's not all that, rosy. They work hard for what you see out there in the external. You don't see the sleepless nights. You see the glory and you become envious. Woman, you must make that decision. You must challenge envy. And let me tell you how you can challenge envy. Each time it's a human kind of nature to want to feel jealous sometimes. If you've not controlled yourself, if you don't have a really good heart, you might want to feel jealous, because someone is succeeding. But let me tell you something. When you learn to appreciate and bless people, when you learn to authentically appreciate and bless people, genuinely, you can never be envious. You can ask them, how did you get to where you are today, Sylvia? How did you get to where you are, Jane, today? Please, can you tell me? Can you help me? And they will be there to help you. Envy will keep you petty, small, and then you are dying. It's killing you, and you appreciate nothing. And then it will lead now to the next thing, which is that oppression, that spirit of oppression. You want them to fall. If you have the opportunity to match them, to press them, to oppress them, you will do it at the blink of an eye. Because when envy takes over your heart, you don't see anything objectively anymore. You don't see it objectively. You are covered by envy. You cannot live another person's life. Celebrate. Know that you are unique. You are one of a kind. You are a masterpiece woman. Worship me. There is none like you on planet Earth. What business has the eye got, to do with the nose when the nose is breathing, that it starts jealousy or being envious of the nose because the nose is breathing? What business has the eye got to do with breathing? The eyes cannot breathe. Even if the nose says, okay, I'm not going to breathe today, I will leave your eyes to go on and breathe for this body. You cannot do it. Instead of letting the nose breathe so you can live, so you can edify your body and fulfill your purpose, you are there envying the nose, and unfortunately, you cannot even live well. You cannot even live well. People who are envious, you can't be happy. You're in your home, you're thinking for the next thing. What's the next downfall? You're looking for the next news. Have they failed? Have their business fallen? Have their ex or whatever, their husband left them? Have their children done this? Oh my goodness. When you should be using your time effectively 24/7 to create the life that we were born to live. They are using their time to create the life they were born to live because they don't have time for this envy. So whenever you think of envying someone or that spirit gets into you, I want you to bless them. Just bless them. Envy is such a negative spirit that it cannot dwell where there is a spirit of blessing. You can't bless someone and curse the person at the same time. Absolutely no. It's one or the other. You cannot bless someone and envy the person at the same time. If you feel like You feel envious, you're never going to have their life. Maybe if they're wealthy, they're successful, someday they will take you with them to become their partner, to become their staff, to become their manager, their CEOs, their directors. Why not support them? Just bless them. That may God bless them 100,000-fold. May they succeed. And you will never, never be envious anymore. Because as you keep blessing them, even if it's a negative spirit, the devil will not want you to bless someone. He wants you to envy. So he will stop bringing that spirit in you to envy someone who is succeeding and thriving. So remember, bless everyone and challenge envy. Right from within your home, from your children. Some of you mothers, you are bringing up children who are so envious. It's ridiculous at this age because you carry your petty problems, and put onto them, show them, and you start telling them this auntie, this uncle, this, that, is that, and innocent, beautiful children. You're killing them. You're intoxicating them with the spirit of envy. Challenge envy wherever you go. Challenge the spirit of oppression. When you gossip, when you envy, the next thing you are leading to, or the next path you are leading to, or walking on, is that path of oppression. At every cost, you want to see them down. At every cost, you want to see them oppressed. You never want to see them higher than you are. Let me tell you something. You envy someone, like I said, you can never take their place. You oppressing someone or wanting to see them down will never make you better. It's like I'm standing up. I choose to push someone down to make them be seated, whereas they are taller than me. They're not going to remain seated for life. In any case, whether they remain seated for as long as I oppress them, my height has not changed. Stop focusing your energy to oppress others. Use that energy. Oppression is when you are using a force, but you are using it in the negative direction, is downwards. Use that same energy and strength to uplift yourself. If you want to be better than anyone, it's not even competing with anyone. You should be competing with your best self. But if at all you want to be better than a competitor, than anyone, don't oppress your competitors if you have competitors. You make yourself to become better. You educate yourself, you empower yourself, you use that same force to uplift yourself, to elevate yourself, so you're now at a higher level and they're at a lower platform. That's why I always say, and there is this quote as well, if you're around people who gossip a lot, you're around pigeon, all you need to do is develop wings as eagles, so you soar to greater heights as eagles. Where eagles soar and dwell, pigeons don't dwell. So you've been elevated and you are beyond that position. But remember, women who are elevated, women who are confident, know that I'm uplifted and elevated to bring up my children, my loved one, those who are behind me. That's why we are mothers, not only to our biological children. We are naturally gifted with the gift of nurturing. Where we nurture, we teach, we feed others to uplift them, to make them grow, to make them become their best selves. We don't keep oppressing and pushing people down. You are not truly a woman. Great. So, once we've challenged this and don't oppress anyone, I know a lot of women in Africa, not even Africa, even here, you oppress your mates. What a shame. I challenge you to stop oppressing your mates, your house help. You get your children to oppress them because they are working for you. What a shame. And then you go and preach and mash out there every Women's Day 24/7. Stop oppressing the women. When you are oppressing a poor little girl right in your home every day and every night, women are meant to be nurturing. That's why we have a womb, to nurture and bring life into the world. You cannot take a maid, a house help, and you oppress them and you look low onto them. No, they are there to help you. They are your helpers and you must help them as well. You must teach your children to respect them, to value them, because they are adding value to your life. Some of you, without them, you'll not be able to do all the work you are doing. You'll not be able to go to work without having your children cared for. You'll not be able to do your children's homework because they are helping you to get your children to do their homework and your children to become, great in the future, and you abuse them because you are just a little bit higher than them. It's a shame, woman. Challenge oppression. Start from within you. Some of you oppress your men. Oh yeah. In the Western world, there's this thing, the woman is almost always right. What is society? And we can see what's happening to our society. Some evil women, they oppress the men and they abuse the men, which is the next one. And unfortunately, because I'm a woman, I'm weak. And then you give another narrative. Woman, it's a message for you to reflect and be honest with yourself. Change starts from me. Change starts from me. Be the change you want to see in the world. Change starts from you, woman. Let's be the change we want to see in the world. Challenge every form of oppression. Do not oppress your staff. Some women are out there, maybe in the developing countries, you don't pay your staff. You give them something that you know is not what, and they work day and night for you. Some women so evil, for some African nations I've heard of, selling children. How evil. How evil. We must challenge this and stand up and challenge women. We are the builders of nations, or the destroyers of nations. It takes a woman to build a great man. It takes a woman to crush a great man and a great nation. So we must start challenging the things we are doing that do not lead to empowering others, that do not lead to building a unified nation, but it leads to destruction, damage, and all of that. We must challenge it. And the next is abuse. The next thing, when you've been gossiping, the person doesn't care, or the person gets into your same game and gossip, you start being envious, it's eating you, it's killing you, then you want to show that power out there physically, you're oppressing them, you want them to fall, and then you are oppressing and all of that, and then it's abuse. Some get physically abusive. Woman, we must challenge abuse in every form. Physical, mental, emotional abuse. Women are known and they can be very, very manipulative. Come on, woman. Use your power positively. You are a builder of nation. If you can get everything that you want at the click of a finger, why not use it confidently or boldly and honestly to get what you want? Why will you manipulate people? Why will you manipulate leaders, men, children, the neighbor and all of that? Woman, I challenge you. You must challenge abuse of every sort. When you abuse people, let me tell you, it tells me that you have no respect for yourself, okay? And you're saying that because you have no respect for yourself, you're abusing this person, then you deserve to be abused as well. And of course, maybe women will abuse. You can see them fighting and abusing themselves. Again, we must challenge that kind of attitude. If you are a woman of virtue or value, you cannot in any circumstance go and befriend those kind of women. You challenge it, you change them, you help them to work on that nasty attitude of being abusive. If they cannot, shun away from them. You cannot be a woman of dignity or value or virtue and then you still sit and dine with such women who are constantly abusive. You can work with them, having a different type of relationship to mentor them, to coach them, to come out of that abusive, mindset or relationship. Women, are you ready to challenge abuse? And how do you challenge it? I'm so optimistic, so positive. If someone comes and starts abusing another person, you cannot even, I'm going to challenge you. Why are you abusing them to me? I would always find reasons, it's not like I'm justifying why they are doing that. But I would say, please put yourself in their situation. Maybe they are going through this, that, and that. I will always try, because the truth is, it's not normal for someone to be so abusive. Something is wrong with them. They have huge self-esteem issues, huge internal struggles and problems. So I will be showing compassion, and whoever comes to abuse another woman in front of me, I will call on them to show compassion and let's help that woman because she is in need. I will not tolerate abuse. I will not tolerate another woman to abuse herself, even herself, in front of me. How many of us abuse ourselves? I'm not good enough, I'm horrible. You must challenge abuse. If you can tell yourself that, then it will be easier to tell other people. It will be easier. And you can see a lot of women, too often we don't get those high paid jobs or go to higher positions because we look low on ourselves. We become abusive, mentally, telling ourselves we are petty, we are not worth this job, we are not worth that, we don't have a degree, we don't have all the qualifications they need. A man might have just one qualification or one of those skills. A man will go to that job and get that job and say, I will learn in the process of working. We must challenge abuse of every form. Woman, let's challenge abuse. We've seen that. Before they used to say, heterosexual relationships, women are being abused by men. Now we have lesbian. Hey, there's no man there. The amount of abuse, the amount of violence is incredibly ridiculous and very shameful. Women, challenge abuse of all forms and all sorts. And you must challenge that by challenging your own children at home, teaching your sons how a gentleman has to behave. Don't compromise, don't condone to your sons when they start abusing young girls in school. Stand up to it and say no. When they start abusing their siblings, stand up to them and say no. When they start being violent, stand up to them and say no. Challenge your daughters as well when they become abusive. So if you know that you cannot abuse yourself, you do not deserve to be abused, then no one can abuse you, or no one is worthy to abuse you. And you will be easily, taken off relationships that are abusive. It will be so easy for you to go away or move away or not even get involved with abusive relationships because your standards are so high. You are not a part of an abusive relationship. Neither are you the abuser, nor can you tolerate an abuser or condone with an abuser. I want you to challenge abuse, woman. And the final and last thing I want to say, it's a tough message, but I had to do this. I had to do this. We'll be having a Women's Day event on the 27th. We'll have some incredible speakers, incredible women, and I'd like to invite you to join us. In the meantime, I want you to challenge mediocrity. I want you to challenge mediocrity. Too often, a lot of women live an average life. Being a mom is only one of your roles on planet Earth. Being a wife is only one of your roles on planet Earth. You have a great purpose, and those roles are encompassed within your purpose. You have a greater role. You have so much greatness within you. Stop living an average life, woman. Challenge mediocrity. Challenge mediocrity from within you. Your children, your own life. The fact that you just sleep all day and you want to lay in bed, you don't feel like waking up and exercising and bringing energy to your body or eating something healthy, drinking water, that's mediocrity. Because you are giving your body less than what it deserves to thrive in optimal health and well-being. You are giving yourself less than average of what you truly deserve as an incredible woman. You must challenge mediocrity and start in your life. When it comes a time when you feel like your only job is to sleep, to lie down, be on benefit 24/7 without any hope of ever doing something you love. Even if it's volunteering, maybe your situation, your health does not permit you to work. Don't get me wrong, you can still volunteer. You can still do a lot of support using your own life, your own experience to help others by counseling them, by supporting them, by advising or encouraging them. You can still do a lot more. Challenge mediocrity. That's why a lot of women, it's really sad in the UK, there are more girls than boys, about more than 50% in higher education level. But guess what? It's not reflected in the working world. A lot more men are out there, at higher positions, managerial roles, CEOs and all of that. I know we too often, like I said at the very beginning, talk of the glass ceilings. Hey woman, I've seen so many cases. Like I said, when we blame, we give over our power. If there can be one woman out there, they are no different from you. They are a woman. They've got a womb like you. They are a woman like you. And it means that you can do it as well. They've created a way for you. If they have not done it, no one has done what you want to do. That's Kamala Harris today, the first black woman as vice president. In fact, not only black woman, the first black vice president in the United States of America. You be the pathfinder, you be the visionary, you dream and you start it based on your vision, based on your purpose. You are destined for greatness. Woman, you are so powerful. The only vessel that could be chosen by the divine God because of how powerful, how resilient, how strong you are to bring forth every man and woman on planet Earth. You conceive them in your womb, great and small men, big and tall men, mighty and, whatever men, woman, you conceive them, you nurture them, and you let them into this world. You are a great leader. You are a great leader. Step out and lead. Challenge mediocrity. Challenge things like a woman's place is in the kitchen, a woman's place is whatever, my mental health. How many women give that excuse? Challenge these things. Challenge any form of mediocrity and thrive in your full potential. Find out who you are. You are unique. You are special. You are incredibly wonderful. You are builders of nations, women. You are builders of nations. Our world needs you. You are the one to put an end to poverty. You must start by challenging mediocrity. Some of the wealthiest, greatest men and women today of our world, they will tell you their mothers brought them up. Their mothers is the greatest force behind their success. Some of these mothers were illiterate. Some of these mothers were uneducated, from poor backgrounds. Not their backgrounds took them to where they are, but the powerful force of the woman behind them will believe in them, will push them to thrive and challenge any form of mediocrity and settle for nothing less than their full potential. Woman, you must challenge this. Starting in your life, with your children, with your loved one, in your community. There's no point going to much out there. We want a greater pay, we want higher pay jobs when so many of you are complacent, just staying at home, being mediocre, being average, and just accepting handouts. You don't want to work, you don't want to do anything. And you accept as well your children should not go to work because maybe you've just forgotten how powerful, how wonderful you are. You are consumed in your own oppression. You are consumed in your problems when you can seek help. You are consumed in alcohol. You are addicted and you don't care about your children. And so you leave them to settle for mediocrity. I want to challenge you, woman. Challenge every form of mediocrity. You are a leader. You are a victor. You were born to sow. You were born to lead. Every man and woman on planet Earth was led into this world by a woman. You're so powerful. Let's start challenging now. And you've been listening to the wonderful, inspiring, leading empowerment and transformation authority, Dr. Sylvia Forchap-Likami. Never be afraid to challenge everyone. You know what? I would rather if everyone around me, because I challenge gossip, I challenge them, envy, I challenge oppression, abuse. Everyone wants to go away from me. I will be really fine. I would rather have everyone go away from me because they believe they have to gossip, they have to be envious, they have to oppress, and they have to be abusive and mediocre. I will thrive and I'll be able to support a new generation of women, the young ones who are excited, who are hungry for success, who are hungry for a greater life and a fulfilling life. So do not be afraid. Do not be afraid. Maybe this is a time where some of those your relationships were meant for a season. With some of those your friends that you grew up maybe from childhood to where you are today, the season is over. The mission for that relationship is accomplished. If they stay behind, they are still being envious, they are jealous, they are oppressive, they are nasty, they are abusive. You've got nothing to do with them. You cannot be equal. You cannot pay them back with your own coins. You are too big for that. You are destined for greatness. Someone who is destined for greatness does not play the game of a mediocre. You leave them and you walk away, just as they are, until they are ready to join you and develop wings, because they will have to develop those wings. They will have to work on themselves, and then you can soar together to where you are going to. I wish you a wonderful and incredible Women's Day. Happy International Women's Day 2021. Woman, join me and let's challenge every form of mediocrity, every form of gossip, every form of envy, every form of oppression, every form of abuse and abusive relationships, and every form of mediocrity. And it starts with me and you. It starts with us women. When you empower a single woman, you empower her children, her family, a generation, a nation, and the world at large. That's how powerful you are today, woman. You start transformation from within. You start transforming lives and challenging things from within your inner circle, and it has a ripple effect, and it has an effect because you impact more lives wherever you go, and then you can impact and challenge everything out there in the world, in the government, in the institutions out there. It starts from you and me. As you listen to me today, I really want you to make that decision today. If you're one of those who spend their time gossiping, being envious, being oppressive, or any one of the other, I'm mediocre. You need help. You need help. Do not die in your envy, because it's just going to choke you. There's nothing great about being envious. Seek help. Reach out. to great, uplifting women who do not settle for mediocrity, who have found their purpose, because women who are fulfilling their purpose, who are at that level beyond mediocrity, they don't do all of these things. They have no time. They are here on a mission, and every single second they are blessed with in life is to impact and accomplish that mission. They have no second to gossip. They have no second to entertain gossip. They have no second to envy people. All the false energy they used to uplift. No second to oppress, because they know if they want to go far, they will go with so many. If they want to go fast, they can go alone. But it needs a lot of women together, like-minded women with the same vision or similar vision to go further and really bring the change our world needs. So they do not oppress. They are not abusive, because they know how valuable and worthy they are. Each time I set out or step out to abuse someone, I devalue myself. I abuse myself continually. I know just how valuable and worthy I am. Women who are living their full potential know they are worthy. They are priceless. They are more than diamond. They are worth more than anything, and they cannot abuse others because it brings down their value. It makes them become mediocre. Once you've tested, that part or that life where you thrive in your full potential, you never want to be in the area where you live a mediocre life. It's like once you've experienced what it means walking in the light and you can see clearly, you're confident, you will not stumble and fall. You never want to walk in the darkness anymore. You want to go shine your light to those who are in the darkness, to show them the light so they may know what it means being in the light as well as start walking in the light. And if they are not ready, you leave them there and you keep being the light. Whenever they are present, you take over because you are the light. So never worry about them. They can't have influence when you are present. No one will gossip, will envy, can have influence when I'm present. The power of positivity, optimism, love is far powerful than any spirit of gossip. I say it boldly, confidently, no one on planet Earth. If you're a gossip, if I am there, I take over. The power of really highly fulfilled women who are living a life of purpose. They are so powerful. They are present in every single time, wholly present, and they take over. And that's how you should challenge. You influence the room when you step into it. You don't take over the frequency or the aroma of the room. It's like you have that perfume on. Wherever you go, you challenge. You don't need to challenge by fighting. You need to challenge by shining your light into the lives of these women who are still living a mediocre life. You need to challenge by being a light to them, a ray of hope to them. You have to challenge by being present. You have to challenge by letting your own presence speak volume and take over every environment when you step into, because your life is so transformed that you're simply a ray of light, a ray of hope, and for a better world. Thank you so much. You've been listening to the wonderful, inspiring Dr. Sylvia Forchaplikambi, the founder and CEO of Voice of Nations, a leading empowerment and transformation authority. And Voice of Nations, again, is set out to educate, empower, inspire, transform, and motivate women so they can actually unlock their full potential and thrive into positions of leadership and financial independence, living a life of purpose and fulfillment. If you need any support, get in touch. We are currently running some programs on resilience blueprint, confidence, health and well-being, a lot of programs. Get in touch. Public speaking, you need that confidence to speak out in the public. Emotional intelligence, you need to be assertive as a woman. That will come in the area where you don't have to be abusive. You don't have to be abusive. You can be direct, open, and honest without necessarily being abusive. I'm very open. I'm very outspoken. You could see the way I deliver this message. I will not shake an inch if I stand for something and I'm convicted, but I'm not going to abuse you. I'm not going to abuse you. I will stand firmly on my grounds. And if I see that I'm not impacting you because you're not willing to take knowledge or wisdom, I'm going to walk away and leave you in your ignorance. You cannot influence me when I'm convicted and I'm very sure I'm standing for the truth. Let's seek the truth and nothing less than the truth. I love you all, woman. God bless you. Happy International Women's Day, and go out and challenge. God bless. Thank you.